The Alfa Romeo 4C makes no sense. Imagine telling a non-car person that this new sports car that they're looking at doesn't come with power steering. They would think that's unacceptable. But to us, we think it's cool. Not only that, this has a carbon fiber monocog that is actually attainable. This is the same kind of technology that you would find in McLarens. It is perhaps the most raw car you can buy on the modern market today. In today's modern car world, this car has a feeling of sketchiness that you will not find anywhere else in the modern car world. Mid-engined, no assist, it's all you, baby. You gotta figure this out. If you mess up driving it, it's all your fault. So what's it like driving the Alfa Romeo 4C with its 2,400 pound glory? Let's go for a drive and find out. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the 2015 Alfa Romeo Launch Edition with a carbon fiber monocog for $40-something thousand. It's insane when you open this door and see the carbon fiber monocog, because what other car this affordable has that kind of chassis? Now, the car weighs 2,400 pounds, started with 238 horsepower and 258 foot-pounds of torque. Now, the motor is very similar to what you'd find in, say, the Dodge Dart / the Fiat Abarth 500. But it makes plenty of turbo noises, but the first thing you feel when you drive this thing is no power steering. I say that in a good way. It's very connected to the road. It feels like you're in a straight up race car and you are so low. It has a fully digital dashboard, so it's all tach and a little bit of mile per hour. It's got lots of road noise, but you almost embrace it because of the type of car you're driving. And Alfa Romeo's goal of this thing was to make kind of a more raw driver's car that's modern and basically meets all safety standards. I think it's really bold of them to try it, because people are kind of too scared to build cars like this anymore because of how raw and crazy it is. Because I can go into Alpha Race mode, no traction control, pretty much no stability control, no power steering. Transmission is a dual clutch transmission. Unfortunately, they never made these in manual, but at the same time, with the dual clutch, you get the nice loud pops every time you downshift. I'm fascinated by Alfa's comeback in the United States, because you have the Giulia, which I have driven. And I've also driven the Stelvio, the fast versions of both of those cars. But then you get in the 4C, and when you drive the 4C, you legitimately feel like you're in a supercar. It does not feel like some fake attempt to join the club. I think that's my best way to put it. The rear end of this car is my favorite part. The taillights, the kind of waved out trunk. I love the carbon ducktail on this one. Everything about it screams supercar. To be fair, I think that the Alfa Romeo 4C could really come for Lotus's crown to being in the exotic looking, not so exotic price point. And if you were to see the Alfa Romeo 4C to the untrained eye in a group of supercars, wouldn't blink an eye. Especially this one, it's red. Another thing too is this thing has factory exhaust, and they made the factory exhaust this loud on this thing. And I absolutely love that they made it this loud. I also really like the factory wheels on this, because they're kind of this gunmetal graphite gray in a really unique pattern that pretty much, to me, would only work on the 4C. You'll notice that when you open the hatch, it has a prop rod. It doesn't have like any kind of hydraulic shocks or anything like that. That just shows how much they were trying to save weight on this thing. This is like the Abarth's interior if it was way nicer, in my opinion. The Abarth's interior just has lots of kind of gross hard plastics, but this is rear wheel drive. You have all the benefits of the Abarth first, I didn't think I was gonna notice anything about the steering wheel. You gotta Lego hand it. It's like this. So when I hold it here and I go around a corner, if your hands get sweaty on a hot day, it feels like you're almost gonna slip because you don't have like a nice firm grip on it. But it's a flat bottom, it looks aesthetically nice. But yeah, I can see how a lot of people do not like this wheel because it doesn't really like form to your hand that much unless you're driving like this, which I don't recommend you driving like this on a mountain road, please don't. And with the paddles in such a good spot, they're right behind 9 and 3 as they normally would, but they really do form to your hand. The paddles form to your hand more than the steering wheel does. Also, speaking of that, when you look over on your leg, there's not really a center console. You kind of reach down and it's just the buttons for everything, and you have your hazards down here and you have a switch that does the different modes. It's not like, you know, a dial or something you'd find in a BMW. Along with that, your window controls are in the center like most European cars. I always get screwed up because I reach for the door and I'm like, where's the window thing? I can't find it. Do love all the sounds this thing has with the windows up though. You hear the gearbox working, you hear the motor working, you hear the turbo spooling up, everything. When you push on the brake pedal, at the very beginning, you're like, uh-oh. And then when you actually hit it, it just stops on a dime. It's awesome. This car is actually more thrilling to drive with the windows up than down. Because with these small windows, you're gonna get a lot more wind noise because it's just channeling in here. But I also like that the gauge cluster with the digital gauge cluster, it's carbon fiber around it, and it's true carbon. That's what I love about this is like, it's not like some factory stick-on vinyl that looks like carbon or plastic that looks like carbon. It's legitimate carbon. I think that's really neat. It does sound the best out of all the cars that have this engine in. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe it's because it's the mid-engine setup with the exhaust, but they got the sound of this car so right. Also, the aftermarket is almost non-existent for these things, but if you do find stuff for it, you can basically get these up to 300 wheel horsepower. There is a 2-liter block you could buy for these, but you'll make 500 horsepower, but you have to pay 10 grand for the block. So, I don't know about that. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, the 4C is one of those cars where it's very unforgiving if you don't know what to expect. Very smooth transmission. Oh, she gets floaty. So up top, I have not experienced this in a long time. Recently, I drove a 700 horsepower MR2. Believe it or not, it was pretty smooth and it kept itself together up top. It was just straight as an arrow. Not this though. When you get up top, it starts yawing back and forth a little bit and giving you a little pucker factor. It's literally a kite. You're literally driving a kite that has 300 crank horsepower basically. It does add a little bit of a fun factor going to, I need to pay attention. I need to be on my game. Not fear in a bad way, but just a jittery fear, right? I need that adrenaline. Most cars today with a DSG, ZF, or auto transmission, they don't do that for me anymore, which is kind of sad. Yeah, you have to be mean to this thing. You cannot be nice to this car, because if you are, that's when you're actually gonna make mistakes. Oh, it brakes so good. Oh, okay. I hit a divot in the road and the wheel like almost torque steered like a front wheel drive car would. That's weird. If you make a mistake in this car, it's all driver error. The car will do what you want, but you have to be mean. You have to get it to do what you want. Here's the thing. Is it gonna rip your face off fast? No. When I go around like this, full throttle, no, I can enjoy it. It is a little sketchy, but in a good way, but you can still enjoy it because you're going full throttle like a Miata around a turn. But if this thing had spinning tires or too much power or whatever, dude, this thing would be so sketch. I think I didn't appreciate what Alfa was trying to do enough, because I saw it come out, I was like, oh yeah, cool little mid-engine sports car, right? But I really didn't think about what they were truly offering. I think I was looking too far past it because of the motor setup, because it was like the Fiat Abarth in it, right? And now I feel bad because Alfa definitely did something that no other company is doing. They did something for the enthusiast market that they didn't have to do, and they came out strong coming back to America. Alfa Romeo 4C, do I recommend it? Yes, if you want a thrilling experience, lightweight, fun, little bit of pucker factor, everything you could ever ask for. Basically, the most raw car on the market right now, I would say that. What do you guys think about the Alfa Romeo 4C? I personally loved it. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think, and I will see you guys next time, and take it easy. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye. This video is brought to you by Patterson Car Care. Get double of premium original detail product for half the price. Head over to PattersonCarCare.com or go to the link in the description below.